Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It's the 26th of December, the day after Christmas, and in Italy it is Santo Stefano. That's why there are no news on the web. The front pages are not working. Gazzetta, Tuttosport, Corriere dello Sport. In Italy, nobody is speaking about football, or at least they are around the table, but not really in a professional way. What did you think? That GJustjuve, that Beppe would not have your back covered? We will speak about Juventus, we'll speak about Juve Roma, the big game that will be played on Saturday the 30th against Roma, and then something that worries me a lot, but really a lot, because the mercato of the winter is about to open. I don't feel that Juventus will reinforce themselves according to the needs that we have with a big midfielder. Why? Well, you will discover it towards the end of the video, because we'll speak about all these things into the video. Of course, continue to put a maximum of like on the videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes, you are doing a fantastic job, really, seriously, but you have to continue. We continue with the subscription to the channel, because now we are about to start with the crazy news, the obsession about Italian media. Even if they don't work a lot, there are still some people that are working and they are obsessed about Juve. What am I speaking about? About the Christmas story, about ex-Juventus and Arsenal goalkeeper that did a craziness, una follia. Why? Because he went with a chainsaw to the neighbor, threatening him. Crazy. Really crazy. The neighbor, he went to the police, he called him, he said, oh, we have a problem here because the guy is crazy. Who are they speaking about? Ex-Juve and ex-Arsenal goalkeeper. It's not Szczęsny, because Szczęsny is not an ex, it is the goalkeeper of Juve. So they speak about Lehmann, and the one that knows Serie A, the older ones, they know that Lehmann played in Serie A, never to Juve. He's a Milan ex and Arsenal ex, not Juve. So the question is, why are they putting Juventus? Is it because, I don't know, they ate too much around the Christmas table with the family and they forgot? Is it a simple mistake? It can happen. It can happen. Of course, mistake can happen. Or there is another version, the one that is in my head, probably because they know that in terms of interactions, in terms of likes, in terms of putting the news in a wider audience so that it becomes viral, they have to put the name Juventus. There is an obsession thinking about Juve, doing mistakes, sometimes even intentionally, so that they are sure that people will start interacting, say, but it's not ex-Juve, it is ex-Milan. Obsessed. It is obsessed. Now we go towards another obsession, but in a good way, because there is another one that is totally obsessed with Juve, and it is Adrien Rabio, that yesterday we saw him climbing the mountains in Torino when he reached the peak, a bit like Rocky Balboa before having that box game against Ivan Drago that was played on the 25th of December on Christmas Day. Well, we saw Adrien Rabio at the peak. He took away his clothes and he was there with the Juventus kit, training kit. Fantastic, beautiful. Even Gatti said, now we know who is stealing all the Juventus kit. It's not my fault, it is Adrien Rabiot. In fact, fantastic. Beautiful image of Adrien Rabiot that said, un buon Natale. Best wishes of Christmas to all the Juventini of the world. Beautiful. Anyway, let's go to Juve Roma, because that's important. We have an amazing possibility. We have an opportunity that honestly I was not thinking about before the Serie A started. I told you I don't have a lot of hopes for this Roma. I didn't see Roma in the top 4. A lot of people were mocking me. They were saying, Beppe, no, but Roma, fantastic. Look at the mercato that they did. Lukaku, they have Dybala, they have Renato Sanchez, Paredes. Look at the team that they have. They will finish there. Well, at the moment, it's not going fantastically well. Even if it's not a disaster. They are 6th in Serie A. All their hopes to arrive in top 4 are still alive, but we have the opportunity to make sure now already at match day 18 that they will not overtake Juventus at the end of the season. After 18 games on 38, we have that big opportunity, because if we win against them, it's minus 15. It is minus 15. That's a golden opportunity. The opportunity that you have once in your life. And that would be already one challenger for that top 4 that is out of the race. Already now. Because 15 points will be extremely difficult for Roma to recuperate to Juve. So we have to do it. A Roma that will play with Paredes. Paredes that was a total flop at Juventus. We know it. And I will tell you a stat that this morning I was studying. He already played now, after 17 match days in Serie A, of course, plus the Europa League, he already played more minutes than his total career in Bianconero, because he played in total this season 1,638 minutes, while at Juve he played 1,609. He played at the moment 16 games out of 17. One game he didn't play in Serie A because of a suspension, because of accumulation of yellow cards. 88% of the starts in Serie A. In Europa League, 50% of the starts, but he played 6 on 6. He didn't score yet, but he did, I believe, 3 or 4 assists in total. Paredes is doing quite well. The big question is, why didn't he perform at Juve in one of the most difficult years? Because he was really looked for by Max Allegri. He wanted him to become the new regista of Juventus. I don't know. I still can't explain myself. I have never believed in Paredes. Honestly, I never thought that he would be a fantastic player. He confirmed it, but in a way, it's really strange because I didn't thought that he would have been that flop at Juventus. Anyway, we have to pay attention to Paredes because at Roma, where we already played that years ago, he's doing extremely well. What about Dybala? Dybala is still a question mark. A lot of people are saying he will not recuperate in time to play against his ex-team Juventus. On the other side, some people are still keeping a bit of hope alive. Will he be there or not? From the start, difficult. On the bench, possible. Dybala, that is still the big question mark. A lot of Juventini are still regretting la gioia, that we didn't extend his contract, that he had leave Juventus for free. 11 apps this season with Roma, 4 goals, 6 assists. We know one thing: when he's playing, when he's able to play, when he's physically at 100%, well, he's doing the difference. He's a fantastic player. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to keep that tempo. He's not able to play game in, game out. So was it the right decision of Juve to not extend him? Let me know in the comment. I'm curious. And we will also play against the Roma of Lukaku. Lukaku that was that close to join Juventus in the summer. A lot of people were in protest. We don't want Lukaku. Noi Lukaku non lo vogliamo. That was the big one. We didn't want to lose a Dusan Vlahovic to go for the Belgian 30 years old player. A Belgian that is doing quite well this season, to be honest. He already scored 8 goals in Serie A, 5 in Europa League. That's a total of 13 goals for a total of 1,676 minutes. So even more than Paredes if we accumulate all the games that he played. 100% of starts in Europa League. He is on fire. We have to be honest. He totally flopped against his ex-team Inter because of the welcome that he received. I'm really curious about Lukaku, how he will be received in the Allianz Stadium on Saturday. Anyway, Juve has a huge, big opportunity and we have to take it. We can't flop the game of Saturday. We spoke yesterday about the point of the healthy players, the injured players. So if you didn't watch it yet, please go back because that's where we gave details. I don't want to repeat what I said yesterday. So for having a better picture of who can or not play, we'll speak about that probably tomorrow. Anyway, now we go towards other news. I told you that I was a bit worried about the Mercato session of winter. For what reason? Because they are the top A players, as I'm calling them. They are at the moment out of reach of Juve. We know it financially. Even with the capital increase, we are not swimming in gold. So it's still difficult. And we are looking for these kind of B players, like a Rodrigo De Paul. A B+, because Rodrigo De Paul, even if it's not in my heart, even if I don't really want to sign him, is still a valid player, a really good player. And he was probably the best one that the Mercato of the winter in the midfield could offer. The most realistic one that Juventus could go for. Well, we have to say goodbye to that player because Rodrigo De Paul will remain at Atletico Madrid, confirmed by Simeone, his coach, that said he's extremely important for us. So no for De Paul to Juve. So it's a player that we already lose. It's over. Samardzic, we know it, difficult. Udinese, they keep continuing to say that in the winter he will not go anywhere, or at least not to Juve. So forget about the 2 players that were really big targets for the winter. We forget about them. Then I can understand that Juventus doesn't want or can't on the Mercato session with the money go for a top AAA player in the midfield, even if it's a young player, a potential one, and that maybe we're thinking to these B players, looking for a loan with the possibility to buy and not an obligation to buy, because our big target is Khéphren Thuram. Well, I think that it's time also to say goodbye to Khéphren Thuram because it's a big one and it's playing game in, game out, better and better, called up by the French national team. Well, there are some teams on him: Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, even Manchester City. Competition that for Juventus is out of reach, so I think that also him we have to say goodbye to Kefren Thuram. It's a pity. The one that are remaining are Calvin Phillips, but we already made a lot of videos about Calvin Phillips. Is it really the player that Juventus need? He's not even convincing according to rumors Max Allegri, so is he a player? There is still a possibility because Manchester United, they want to go, Manchester City want to go for Kimmich from Bayern, which would reinforce them and they will make sure that Calvin Phillips finds a team on loan. Well, it will be extremely difficult to go for Juve. Extremely difficult. So forget about him as well. On the other side, who is still alive in terms of player? It is Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. A player that personally I don't want. There is a possibility, because Tottenham is open to loan him out, even if they prefer to sell him. 20 million euro is what they want for the player, that they signed for 15 million euro. They even want to do profit. Why am I not convinced? First of all, because of the player. Never been really a player that caught my eye. On top of that, because you know it, I have the channel now Football, so I'm really starting to interest me about Premier League, about Ligue 1, about what the fans from other teams are thinking about their own team. Well, it's a player that every time that he's not playing well, Tottenham fans, they are celebrating. They don't want him. When they see a news where he can go out of the team and they can even win a bit of money, they are celebrating like it's Christmas, like it's New Year. So I'm not happy when I see this news, from A players that we can't reach, B players that are gone, like De Paul, like Samardzic at the moment. Even the C players are not convincing me, but that's what the Mercato is offering now. Other players that we are offering on the Mercato is Soler, the player that is not playing at Paris Saint-Germain. He's doing a flops there, ex-Valencia player. Well, he's offering him to a bit of teams, saying, I'm not playing at Paris Saint-Germain, I want to play Euro 2024. Well, Juve, offer me to Juve, saying to his management, offer me to Juve. So will Juventus go for him? I don't think so. I hope not, because here we are really speaking about C players, and that's not the players we want. And I have even more terrible news in a way, because Nikos Kira reported that Bernardeschi really wants and still pushing to go to Juve in the winter, even for 6 months on loan. Well, Juventus is not thinking about it, but could possibly reopen the door to Federico if they can't sign their targets. And that's what makes me extremely worried. That's why today I can't tell you with certainty Bernardeschi will not arrive to Juve, because if we are losing a Samardzic, a Rodrigo De Paul, if we can't go for in the future a Kefren Thuram, if we don't want, or if it's even difficult to put 20 million euro on the table for Hojbjerg, if Carlos Soler, at the end I start to be extremely scared. Ragazzi, don't expect a top winter mercato. That's what I feel today. Then Juventus can surprise me, but I don't think so. On the other side, I have good news, because I wanted to finish with the good news for the lovers of Kenan Yildiz, and also for the people that are scared that Juventus will try to cash in for Kenan Yildiz and then go for another midfielder. This will not happen. This will not happen, because Kenan Yildiz is out of the market. Juventus, they really want to keep him. Even if the foreign clubs, the big clubs, are showing interest, clubs like Liverpool, Dortmund, Leipzig, even United, they want to go, and they are already putting on the table 30 million euro for the young Turkish future Alessandro Del Piero, like he was called the last few days. Well, forget about it. It's out of question. Huijsen will go on loan. Kenan Yildiz will remain at Juve. Then it's Allegri's job to find more minutes for the player, to offer him more minutes. But Juventus, they want to compete with him. Why? Because these 30 million in 2-3 years, if really wants to leave, can become 90 million euros. The value can even go triple what it is today. So Juventus will keep Kenan Yildiz, and I believe that's the best news that we could offer you on Santo Stefano on the 26th of December. Maximum of like, continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.